We're back with another trade breakdown. In this one, as you guys can see, and if you haven't, I have made over the last 3 to 4 days over $21,000. Now, at the time of when I made most of my wins, because today I lost money, which is fine, I'm gonna be completely transparent, I was up almost $31,000. But after the loss, now I'm happy to say that we're still up $21,371. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how. And by the end of the video, you're gonna know exactly how I enter, how I execute, and everything in between about my strategy, my trading blueprint. So stick until the end. But without further ado, let's get right into the strategy. And if you were wondering why you should trust me, this is exactly why. Because I can refresh my page, and you guys can see right here, I'm refreshing it, it's loading, and we're still up $21,000. Boom. Now let's get right into breaking down the strategy. So this strategy and the way I'm going to be breaking it down, it takes, well, less than 5 minutes. But not only that, it takes 2 small steps. So step number 1 is going to be creating our bias. What this means is straight up just knowing if you're going to be looking for buys or for sells. And all I need to do this is 2 different time frames, the daily and the 4-hour. Now, what I want them to be doing is this. I need them both to be doing the exact same thing. What I mean by that, I need them to be creating higher highs and higher lows. Now in this case, you guys can clearly see if I zoom in that the daily is creating higher highs and higher lows. You see higher than the previous lows, highs are higher than the previous ones. So then when we go to the 4-hour, we want the exact same thing. So here we are in the 4-hour, and we can clearly see that we are creating higher highs and higher lows. You see higher highs, higher lows, making it so that the 4-hour and the daily are both bullish. So the daily bias is going to be bullish, making it so that when we step down to our execution time frames, in my case, the 1 minute, I'm going to be looking for buys. Now, on the other hand, if we had a scenario like this, where the daily was breaking down, right, you guys can see we have the high, we have the low, and we get another high, which is lower than the previous one, and the exact same thing with the low. A low that is lower than the previous one, and so on and so forth, then that makes this, in this case, the daily bearish. So what we want, so please leave down below what you think we'd be looking for in the 4-hour. Would we be looking for the 4-hour to be creating higher highs and higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs? Okay, now if you answered lower lows and lower highs, then you were correct. But in this case, if you guys can see, we have the high, then we have the low, which is higher than the previous low. The high is also higher than the previous high, and so on and so forth. We can clearly see that it's creating higher highs and higher lows. So in this case, boys, we wouldn't do anything. Why? Because the daily was bearish. So if the daily is bearish and the 4-hour is bullish, then they're not doing the exact same thing. They're not aligned. So the bias is not clear. We don't know what it wants to do. So we're not going to touch this. So in this case, this pair would be invalid for the day, or for however long it takes for the 4-hour to start creating lower lows and lower highs. Or of course, if the daily starts breaking up, then that's when we would step in and start looking for buys. But in this case, we wouldn't be doing anything. And if you're enjoying this video, and if you think that it's like pretty simple, which is what I'm going for, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, because I post these videos every single week, breaking down every single trade that I take. No matter if it's a win or a loss, I will do that. Now let's get right into step number 2. Now for step number 2, you are gonna need to add my trading view indicator. It's completely free, don't worry. And the gaining access to it is super simple. All you gotta do is, like I said, sign up to MoWap. It's completely free. It's just the first link in the description. Right after that, you can head over to this channel right here called Indicator Access. See it right here. Once you're in it, all you gotta do is type your trading view username, just like I did right here. And after, you gotta click on claim indicators. After you have it in your trading view, and it's completely free, it's invite only scripts, and boom. Now, once you add it to your chart, we can head over to step number 2. What this indicator is gonna do is just show you the breaks of the predicted highs and the predicted lows. That is it. So you don't have to draw them. It's basically like trading with my eyes, with my rules. Okay, so step number 1 and step number 2, or move number 1, is what we want is for price. In my case, in the 1 minute, which is what I'm going to be executing in, we want it to be doing the exact same thing as its higher time frames, which is creating higher highs and higher lows. Now, in this case, you can clearly see that price was moving down, creating lower lows and lower highs. So this whole time we weren't doing anything. All I was waiting for is for this to happen right here, for there to be a break of a protected high, making a higher high right here and a higher low. So now that we have that, the bias in the 1 minute in this case is doing the exact same thing as its higher time frames. So we can step to this second step, and what we're waiting is for price to come back to we just want price to come back to the range from the high to the low. So once price does it, in this case right here, we are good to then move to the next step. And the next step is where we're going to be placing our orders. Now, the reason of why I'm going to be using a stop order and not a market order or a limit order is because I want to see momentum. I want to see price. In this case, you guys can see it immediately kind of starts exploding up. It doesn't fizzle to the side, whatever, and then go up, or it had the momentum, it went up, and that's what we're looking for. So that's why I'm going to be using a stop order. So there's stop loss is going to be placed at the current protected low. You guys can see it right there. Now in this one, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I go break even and how I take profit. Now usually my minimum is going to be a 1 to 2 RR to take profit. In this case it was a 1 to 3. And also for my break even, we want to see a new protected high and a new protected low, like basically a new range be created outside of our entry. So not here, not here. No, there was breaks here, there was a break here, but the protected lows in the range basically was still inside of our entry. So as soon as we had this one happen right here with a new high protected high and high protected low outside of our entry, we were good to go break even. And that's basically it, guys. That's the full-on strategy explained in under what I think is 7 to 8 minutes. If you like this video, don't forget that there's plenty of more. There's a whole playlist right here. You can see it up on the screen. And also, if you want the free complete course and access to the indicator, check the first link in the description. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. See you guys on the next one.